Welcome to the finish line of our gradient boosting series. Today is the day we finally complete our master toolkit by taking a deep dive into CatBoost. We've spent a lot of time building up an incredibly strong foundation here, and this explainer is going to bring all of that knowledge together by introducing the absolute final heavyweight contender in the modern machine learning ecosystem.
So over our last two explainers, we covered the heavyweights, right? XGBoost and LightGBM. And yeah, they're incredibly powerful. But honestly, relying on just those two leaves a massive blind spot for data scientists. There is a third major gradient boosting library out there, developed by the tech company Yandex, that you absolutely need in your toolkit. Literally, without it, your ability to handle complex, real-world data is just kind of incomplete.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to look at the final pillar, then taming categorical data, fixing target leakage, symmetric trees and defaults, the ultimate boosting showdown, and finally, best practices and next steps.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the final pillar, completing the gradient boosting trio.
What's super fascinating about this algorithm is how the name itself instantly gives away its core identity. Built by Yandex, CatBoost literally stands for categorical boosting. You see, while other algorithms treat categorical data as, well, kind of like an afterthought, forcing you to do all this heavy lifting before training even begins, CatBoost was engineered from the ground up to handle it natively. It just takes care of it gracefully.
Moving on to Section 2, taming categorical data, moving beyond numerical values. Okay, so just as a quick refresher, categorical features are those columns containing distinct text-based categories rather than continuous numbers. We're talking about things like city names, product categories, or customer segments. Previously, we saw that standard algorithms demand you explicitly convert these text categories into numbers beforehand. You typically use something like one-hot encoding, right? But that forces you to create these massive, sprawling grids of zeros and ones, which can dramatically inflate your dataset size and honestly just slow your entire workflow to a crawl.
Section 3. Fixing target leakage. The danger of the naive approach.
So if you take a naive approach to this, you might think, hey, I'll just replace a city name with the average purchase amount for that city across all my data. Sounds smart, doesn't it? Well, actually, scratch that. It's incredibly dangerous. CatBoost solves this trap with something called ordered target encoding. What it does is artificially create a timeline, carefully calculating those averages using only the historical data that realistically would have been available up to that exact moment in time.
And why is ordered target encoding so absolutely crucial? Because it prevents target leakage. Think of target leakage as, well, accidentally letting your model peek at the answer key during a test. If you use the naive average, your model looks like an absolute genius during training because hints about the final answer are baked directly into the features. But once you actually deploy it, oh man, it fails completely in production. CatBoost just shuts all of that down automatically.
Let's look at Section 4, symmetric trees and defaults, under the hood of CatBoost.
I really want to emphasize this specific contrast. CatBoost builds what are called symmetric trees. This is a design where the exact same specific split condition is applied uniformly across an entire level of the tree at once. So unlike XGBoost's traditional level-wise growth, and unlike LightGBM's distinctive leaf-wise growth we looked at last time, CatBoost insists on perfect balance. Perfect symmetry across the entire level for every single tree it builds.
Now, you might be wondering, why enforce this strict symmetry? Well, one word: speed. Symmetric trees make CatBoost notably faster at inference time, meaning when it's generating predictions on entirely new data after the model is already trained. This architectural choice is just a massive advantage for real-world production systems that need to pump out a huge volume of predictions incredibly fast.
When you go to set this up, the tuning knobs are going to look super familiar. Iterations controls how many individual trees the model built, depth controls how deep each symmetric tree grows, and learning rate controls the correction size for each new tree. But here's the real magic. CatBoost was deliberately designed to perform brilliantly with its default settings straight out of the box. It offers a much more forgiving, beginner-friendly vibe that can literally save you hours of manual tuning.
All right, Section 5, the ultimate boosting showdown, completing the scikit-learn workflow.
Getting started with this is incredibly simple, and it perfectly aligns with the scikit-learn workflows we've been using all along. You just pip install it, import your classifier or regressor, and call model.fit. The only real difference? You directly pass in a parameter called cat_features to explicitly tell the algorithm which columns are categorical.
Then you just step back and let CatBoost apply its specialized internal handling entirely on its own. So here's your definitive toolkit showdown. Need sheer scale and raw training speed? Reach for light GBM. Need a widely adopted, battle-tested standard? Go with XGBoost. But when your data is absolutely packed with categories and you want elite results without the headache of manual tuning, that's when you pull out CatBoost.
Finally, Section 6, Best Practices and Next Steps, Applying CatBoost in the Real World. Picture this. You're working with a real-world business dataset, and it is packed with categorical columns. Stuff like customer segments, geographic regions, marketing channels, the whole shebang. If you're on a tight deadline and facing exactly this kind of data, CatBoost is going to immediately give you a meaningful, real-world performance advantage. Honestly, it's practically tailor-made for this exact scenario.
To wrap all this up, I want you to remember these golden rules. First, explicitly pass that cat_features parameter. Second, step away from the manual pre-encoding, let CatBoost handle it internally to prevent any target leakage. And finally, because they all share a consistent scikit-learn interface, you should absolutely always benchmark all three of these algorithms against each other on your own specific datasets.
Which leaves us with one incredibly important lingering question. Now that we have the complete gradient boosting toolkit, how do we automate all that tedious manual tuning we mentioned earlier? How do we find the absolute perfect parameters for XGBoost, LightGBM, or CatBoost without totally losing our minds? Well, that is exactly what we'll uncover in our next explainer on Optuna. Until then, ask yourself, what hidden complex patterns might these three algorithmic titans finally uncover in your own data?